Okay, this is a scenario where the machine is first started up without parts in place, and we're running a part-in test right now. So to get out of this, you want to go ahead and click on the image, press the little cycle button, and then clear the parts, or run the ejector cycle on the machine. Yep, and then go ahead and cycle it, and then you can close out the override, and then it'll go back to running as usual. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to one of the other programs. So we're going to do this test tune mat, which is looking for both parts in and parts out. Work fine. So if you want to go ahead and trick it out with the broom. Okay, so this time it failed because we blocked the camera. Now to get out of this, you want to go ahead and click on the image, switch the machine over manual mode, run the ejector out, eject the parts, and then run your cycle. And it's reset to the starting point. So that's how to clear it out. So now I'm going to do some training. So go ahead and log in and do snap and train. I'm going to start off by working off of Matt's previous one. So just select that part number. And remember, we want to have a part in the machine for this first cycle. So if I want to get the machine to cycle, go ahead and send it a next cycle to allow it to do a shot. And then from there we got parts in, so you can go ahead and snap. Notice the new version of the program pulls from the old, so you just kind of adjust these. But since we haven't changed anything, we don't need to make any adjustments, but obviously if you need to make adjustments, you can just do that. Save. Next cycle for ejecting parts. Snap. Change your state over to no parts. Train. Verify. That's it. Now the program will restart with the new settings in place. Go to training at this point. Train. Hit it again. Sometimes you got to snap and train.
Are you recording?
Yeah, I'm recording. So you just select add new part first. Yep, there you go. And call it whatever you want. Yep. And obviously, if you were going to do one of the part present only or part not present only, you would select that from the list. It defaults to the part present and not.
Okay. Then I hit snap.
Yep. Hit snap. Go ahead and label. That's fine. You can do 15 this time. Yep. Just go ahead and label. In this case, since we're going to have a downward view of the mold, we want smaller boxes to kind of see the tips of the parts to make sure there's no overlap. So in this case, we're setting these boxes up right at the ends. This is the hardest part of the process, just because this is a 16 cavity mold. Mostly you got to really focus on the bottom row because the row above it overlaps. Once you get them all down, just go ahead and save. Hit your next cycle to eject the parts. Snap a picture. Change the state and train. It's going to ask for a verification of the labels. Yep, those look good. And then it's going to ask for one more step, and that is that you shrink the boxes if necessary. So go ahead and hit OK. And this one I wouldn't shrink any boxes, just leave them the way they are. That allows you to kind of zoom in on the area or focus in on the area that's going to be most likely different than a part versus a no part. If the Vision Builder AI software is not licensed, running in evaluation mode, just want to hit evaluate when this starts up and then close that box. And then you see that it's all set, ready to run the final test. First startup, since it's empty, we're going to have to do a reset cycle. Then we go ahead and close out of that once the machine's running. If everything's trained right, it'll pass and fail as expected. Now if we want to switch between test types, so the final test is running 2 steps where it's looking for parts first and then no parts. So we want to switch over and just look for the mold to be clear on eject. You want to go ahead and hit options. And then just choose any one for your user, log in, and then go ahead and select the parts out test. So this parts out test we had set up previously to verify that the mold is empty. Hit OK. And so that switches us over. You see the program number in the bottom left is parts out test now. So the machine will skip the first step where it's verifying parts present and just move right on to making sure the parts got ejected. So now we put the machine back into run mode. The parts get ejected right away, and then it does the verification test, or the verification that parts are out. So as simple as that. You have many programs in here and switch on the fly. So now we're going to switch over to the parts in test. Options. So go ahead, yep, parts in test. And then go ahead and run the machine. Okay, now we're going to switch back to the 2 parts in and parts out, which is either test 2 mat or you go down in the list, so you scroll down the list. You can use the wheel too, I think.
Final test.
Yeah, go back to the final test. That's okay. It's on the final test now. You can run the machine. Now I'll be looking for both in to start and then out once ejected. Yeah, I think the only thing we might be... So this is a scenario in which we've caused the parts not to eject, and it failed the second step where it expects all the parts to be out. So you can see that the top row of results is what it expects, and the bottom is what it found. So in these cases it's finding parts, and it's considering that it's a defect because it's expecting no parts. So this is a scenario where we turn some of the tips off, so it wouldn't shoot these two at the bottom here. And you'll notice that I was looking for a part and a part, but it found no part in both of these positions. Because we're running an order check on these, a couple of these failed for auto order condition. So as these failed, it kind of shifted the order around. So this is to be expected as well.